So how is capitalism ruining everything today? I'm glad you asked. So you know when Player 2 happened, Luigi, and then a bunch of people just like, oh, it's just a business, businesses do business. So here's something that we just need to get past. This is just something we need to understand. Businesses can operate legally and still completely unethically. A business can be not operating in good faith through their entire deal. And at that point, I say send Luigi. And health insurance is a great example. But let's do car insurance, because we don't want to be like two on the nose, right? Let's say I'm a business and I do car insurance and like roadside car insurance and stuff. If there's like a bad crash, or even if you break down, we'll like come and get you and fix you up. And that can be things from like little bumps or like your wheels falling off or whatever, to like big crashes where your car's completely written off when you have to like fund the entire thing, right? So we're taking a risk to a certain point. You're giving us money and then we are providing a service. And there's a certain amount of risk involved. Like, we have to hope that you don't just go and crash every 2 weeks. So at first, and like, this is an actual service, we're operating in relatively good faith. But, if you seem to be like a higher risk person, you again keep on like crashing every 2 weeks, we might, charge more to cover you. If you have like an incredibly expensive car and you have like a bunch of DUIs on your record, then yeah, we're going to charge a lot. And so we have like a bunch of repair shops and like trucks that like come out and like help you if your wheels fall off. I'm definitely not saying that because that's happened to me. And we have like a bunch of people, processing insurance claims. We have a bunch of money going in and a bunch of money coming out. And the thing is, we're not making like a huge amount of profit. So we're just like, okay, how can we make a little bit more profit? I know. Reward schemes. We're going to do things like, if you go like 2 years without making a single claim, then we'll give you a bonus of like reduced rates or like points that you can spend on things that are basically worthless. Then we notice, here's the thing, that people aren't calling us nearly as often. That like they're not calling us about like little things, like little bumps that might need like a little scratches and things that might need fixed up. Because they want their points, they want their rewards. They want to go the 2 years, the 5 years, the 10 years without making any claims at all. They're actually going out of it, like even if they have like a relatively bad bump, they'll try and solve it without insurance so they don't lose their benefits. So we're getting half the calls. We need half the amount of people, on the phones. We need half as many trucks. We're still getting just as much money coming in, maybe a little bit less because of the rewards, but actually the rewards are basically worth nothing. And we realize, the name of the game isn't providing a service. It's not providing a service. I'm a fucking genius. The name of the game isn't providing a good service that people need. It's not doing that. It's getting people to pay you and then not actually doing anything for them. This is the part where we send in Luigi. This is the part where the company is no longer operating in good faith, right? So we as the company now start coming up with various schemes as to how to not actually pay out any money, how to not actually provide any of the service. And for us, this is fantastic because all of this money is coming in, but so much less of it is going back out. We need like fewer repair shops. We need like fewer trucks to go out and help you. Our profit margin is doing fantastically. Turns out that not actually providing a service and still getting paid for it is the name of the game. So we come up with a bunch of schemes. Let's say we only actually work with like half of the hospitals. I'm sorry, half of the repair shops. And so if something happens and a tow truck takes you to the wrong place, then we'll just be like, sorry, no, that wasn't one of the ones we work with. If you go to Jerry's repair shop, yeah, we'll fix you up. But you went to Steve's repair shop, so nothing we can do. Oh, you did go to Jerry's repair shop? Okay, so actually that's a shame because it was Marvin that actually did the work on your car, and we know no one actually gave you an option as to who, but we don't actually work with Marvin, so you still have to pay the whole thing, and we're not actually going to help you at all. Honestly, sometimes if you've had a crash and you like call for the tow truck, we might just not send one out. We might just like keep on like referring you to different people until you just fucking die of exposure because we can't be fucked. The equivalent here being not sending you any meds until you just die because we can't be bothered. You're just not profitable to us anymore. Look, chronic illness? What even is that shit? And the thing is, our profit margins just keep on going up and up and up. Because if we're only, working with, half of the hospitals, repair shops, and we're only actually fulfilling, like, our obligations, less than half of the time, we're just making more and more and more money. And again, by not offering the service. The whole name of the game is for you to give me money, and then for me to fuck you over. And I am very fond of that. Well, so then what do we do? Not we do, but what do the people do? Perish? There should be laws. There should absolutely be laws. This should be the kind of thing that the governments actually regulate. The governments protect us from these kinds of predatory sort of concepts. And they might try to, but guess what? Me, the business, is going to make sure that they don't. Because I'm making shitloads of money, and I can just give them a little bit of that money in order to not make laws to stop me from getting all of your money. I referred to money as power coupons a while ago, and a bunch of people in the comments were just like, oh, wow, that's amazing. No, that's That's very much not new, but that's what they are. Money is power, and I've been scamming you this whole time, so I've got a bunch of it, and I'm going to use some of it to make sure that I can keep on scamming you. What do we do about this? Luigi, I'm not actually going to promote Luigiing people. What people can actually do is create circles of support in their own local communities and actually look out for each other, except, people are very much making sure that that doesn't happen either. And then we have the issue of shareholder primacy coming into it. And so if at any point, these kinds of businesses, aren't doing everything they can to screw you over as much as physically possible, and they can actually get sued by their own stockholders and forced out. This actually happens to the guys that got Luigi'd. Like, the Luigiing worked for a little while. They actually changed some of their policies, and then their own stockholders sued them so that they changed those things back. Shit is so absolutely fucking ingrained into the way that things work. Look. I'm not an accelerationist. That's the general term for people who just want to fucking burn it all down and, build it up again from the ashes. I think that's a stupid idea because we're all just assuming that all the people that are going to end up on top are going to be morally better than the people that were on top before, which is not how things have worked ever. There are some absolutely fundamental things that need to be changed about how we are running society. And sometimes it's really boring stuff like, hey, we need to get rid of the precedent of shareholder primacy. Or stockholder primacy, whatever it's called. The amount of damage that is specifically doing, absolutely. There need to be more laws around things like monopolies and things like, these kinds of incredibly predatory business practices. Is that going to be easy? No. Is it going to be quick? No. Should we be Luigiing everyone? No. I'm really trying to convince myself at this point. One of the things that we can do right now is we can understand that some businesses are not operating in good faith. Some businesses, some institutions are actively trying to fuck you over, are actively institutionally benefiting from fucking you over. And that there should be mechanisms, there should be laws passed to ensure that these things do not happen. Your government should be protecting you from these people. Whom does the economy serve? Whom does the government serve? Should be a question that we are asking. Let's just start. In case you're not, I imagine if you're watching this all the way through, you're already definitely with me. But let's just start with some businesses are evil. And we, whoever we is, should take steps to ensure that businesses can't be this evil. Because unless something is actively stopping them from being this evil, they'll keep on being even more evil. Technically, I do think that it's technically possible. Actually, now might be a thing. It may actually be possible for people that have had healthcare with United Healthcare that was recently sued by the shareholders in United Healthcare over shareholder primacy reasons. They could countersue said shareholders in theory, maybe, I'm not sure, probably not, because institutions are often, deliberately built in a way to not be changed from the inside. Everyone's just like, hey, we need to change the system from the inside. Systems are designed not to be changed from the inside a lot of the time. But in theory, in order for someone to alter the precedent of shareholder primacy, which would be amazing, that would be huge, one would need to bring a case that would eventually get to the Supreme Court, because things can't just, the Supreme Court or whoever can't just change precedent like in the abstract. They can't just be like, hey, we're taking this idea and we're just changing that now. You would need to bring like a case or controversy. So if people started countersuing and like massively protesting whenever the issue of something like shareholder primacy actually came up, and that was forced to actually go through the go through the various courts and so on, in theory, that might actually be something that could be changed. Now, of course, an issue here is the kind of people who do want that changed don't necessarily have as much money as the kind of people who don't want that changed, because that's the kind of precedent that gets people to have lots of money to then not want things to change. Don't go Luigiing people. Don't. Don't.